Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome back. Today we are starting our new February theme, which I am going to call Flourish. Focusing on flowers and florals and flourishy and all things romantic. And so I'm starting with my design team project for Happiness and Crafting. I'm using a kit by Kerr. She is Happiness and Crafting. This one's called Shabby Shades of Pink, and it's a beautiful collection. So I'll show you right now. Just lovely papers. A lot of distressing splatters. There's some dragonflies and butterflies and florals and pink, of course, my favorite. So there are 14 pages in the collection. I'll go through these with you. But this is one of the designer pages. I really like this one with the little butterfly. So cute. It's not one shade of pink. It is called Shades of Pink. So there's everything from a very faint pale pink all the way through a mauve, and sometimes what even looks like maybe a lavender. Lots of different colors. Some corally looking pinks. I just love it. Lots of different colors in this collection. So there's some little postal stamps. A little farmer out there gardening. Looks like he's pruning his plants. Polka. Here's one of the background pages. Now I did not print anything on the back of these because I'm going to leave them white and perhaps do some stenciling or something like that. But I'm not going to coffee dye this collection. It's got enough going on. And I will be putting coffee dyed paper in between. So I think this is one of my favorite pages. Love the... Are they daisies or sunflowers? I think they're daisies. I have a hard time because that looks like a sunflower leaf. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. But I love the color and the black and white drawings, sketches together. Here's one of the ephemera pages. We've got the tags, or what do you call those? Banners, and some other little shapes here, some pockets. Another background page with some grungy roses. Oh, I thought it was upside down, but I think this one goes either way. Yeah, because these are right side up this way, these are right side up the other way, so that's perfect. Goes up. Here's a script page. Very nice. Here's another grungy background with flourish. And you know, flourish means flowery, so I'm being a little redundant, but that's okay. Here's another one of the ephemera sheets that has some of the background pages reduced. And also here, and here's some tags. You could turn those upside down and make those banners as well. Be fun. And then we have this last one with a couple of journal cards and some large ovals. I love these. And then the butterflies are in 2 sizes so that you can stack them. And that's probably what I'm going to do. That's a lot of fun. That's the collection. It's called Shabby Shades of Pink. It is by Kerr at Happiness and Crafting. And that link will be below in the description box. And let's get started. Now I want to do a shabby chic kind of journal. So I've got a collection of things kind of pulled out. I've got my bag of white lace, and I've got some, I call this my Kerr floral trim, you know, and so we'll be using this bag in the feel of shabby chic. You use whatever you have. So anyway, shabby chic style is a mixture of everything you've got. So I've pulled out some things. I did look these up, and they are compressed craft card, laser cut. But I noticed some of these have some little pieces that didn't pop out all the way. So I'm going to be doing that, and you can see that it can split if you're not careful. I haven't had any of the other pieces really split too much, but this didn't get pressed out all the way, and that's why it's still attached. So I'm just carefully poking that through. I think I've got that one. So I pulled out 3, and I'm going to go ahead and use some white gesso. I just have the Liquitex Basics. If you don't have gesso, you can use white acrylic paint for this. You might need an extra layer, but I'm just noticing that there's some pieces that did not punch all the way. Most of the time they come right out. Alright, so I've got a little bird there, and then I've got this butterfly. Let's see if there's anything left in there. Looks there's one here and one here. So I'm just using my Cricut weeding tool to get those pieces out. Okay, and you may see some of this black right here. It's because these are laser cut, and laser cut is like fire, isn't it? So they're black on the edges and things. But I'm going to go ahead and gesso these 3 pieces because I want to use these on my cover. I'm going to gesso the envelope. I am not going to do a wraparound. I'm going to do the gesso the envelope, use some distress ink on it, and then apply the 5.5 by 8.5 pieces. I've got a bag of little things here, some buttons that I may use for some flowers or for the closure. I'm not sure exactly which. And I've got some little acrylic, I guess they're acrylic plastic butterflies. I've got some stamps in here, just some little miscellaneous things. And I've pulled out some white flat back pearls, my jewel border stickers in white, and then also in pink. So let's get started then. I'm going to go ahead and gesso this envelope. I'm going to seal this closed. I didn't mean to say that it's fire. What I mean to say is the laser burns around the shape, and that's how it's cut. So it leaves the black edge, and you know, that causes the black smudgy. Alright. I am not going to use the inside of this envelope, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I am going to be doing sewing on this journal because I think it just adds to the shabbiness, and I like it. I haven't sewn any of the anything in a while, so all right, let's get going here. Get some. Woo! I think I got a little bit too much here. Let's go ahead and do these because this may need a couple of coats here. Just filling in some of those holes. I don't really want a bunch of that filled in, but that's bound to happen. So I may need to do a couple of coats on this because it is dark. Or, you know, it's okay if it's not. If it's a little grungy, that's okay too. Let me put that up there. I'll come back and do that other bit. Maybe I'm a little scatterbrained today. Probably need more coffee. Yeah, I probably need to do this with a dryer brush too. And just kind of, because I've got too much on here. And if you do, yeah, see, that's much better. If you do it with a dryer brush, you're going to get more texture. I don't want it to be too wet because it is card or craft paper. Cardstock, craft paper, whatever. It's paper. It's not wood. So if I get it too wet, it's going to start to split and absorb that moisture. So I'm just going to go, yeah, this is working much better. I wish I'd have done that on the other two pieces, but that's okay. Live and learn. I haven't used these before, so I am going to get paint all over myself today, and I'm okay with that because I have a sink with soap and running water, so we'll make that work. Okay, so I'll come back, touch those up again. And like I said, if they have paint in the holes, it's not the end of the world because it just adds to the shabbiness of it. But I do want to get this completely covered. All right, I'm going to let this dry. Let's do a little bit more on here. Yeah, as you do the layers, that's going to be nice. And like I said, if you don't want to buy gesso, use white acrylic paint. You can get that for 50 cents a bottle at Walmart. And that will work. It might be a little wetter. It might take an extra coat, but it will work. All right, this one got lots inside here. Okay, you know, I don't think I'm going to keep going forward with this. I think, oh, see, I'm splitting that one. That's why I pulled out my glue so I can glue some of these pieces if they separate. But I think I'm going to leave it kind of showing that craft color underneath. I actually may leave that split because that kind of looks cool. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to add much more to that. Look at me. I'm going to let this dry, clean up a bit, and then I will be back. Okay, while I'm waiting for this to dry, I went ahead and inked around. I did use my blow dryer on it a little bit, just to give it a little head start. I went back and added more gesso around the edges and down the middle, and then I inked it with well, kind of a combination of gathered twigs and vintage photo around the edges on both sides. And word of caution, don't have the wet side down on any surface and walk away and start talking to your daughter and not pay attention, because gesso, the whole point of gesso is to give some structure so that you have something to stick to. And even a non-stick mat if you have gesso and paper, it will stick. So it peeled away a lot here, but this is going to be covered up by paper, so I'm not too concerned about it. But just a word of caution, if you're not planning on covering it, you don't want to leave it stuck down. Probably should have dried one side and then did the other side. Did I say that correctly? I don't know, my mom will shoot me if I have incorrect grammar. I want to do some ribbon. So I've done a little bit. I did this, which is, I've used the raspberry from Close to My Heart, which is a hot pink. And I've used some vintage photo in here. It's a little bit darker than I want. This one, there was a little bit of vintage photo left, but not as brown, more pinky. I'm starting with the Como beige. So I'm just gonna wipe my gloves down here. I am gonna go ahead and cut some more, and I'll show you the color, the original color. So I usually do 2 yards at a time. So my mat is 24 inches. So I'll do 3 lengths of my mat, give or take an inch or so, and then divide it in half. You can see how this is just a light beige. The new Como that I got is a little bit darker than this, but this is kind of a, this one's kind of almost like a gray. The other Como that I bought seems like almost like a putty color, but that's okay. This gives it a little bit of that shabby edge that I want. Alright, so get this stuff out of the way here. All I did for the last one, there was a little bit of vintage photo on here, so I'm just going to take, I've got my vintage photo Distress Oxide. If you don't have this, you could use your, in fact, I'll just do it that way. Use your Distress Oxide and just rub a little bit on there. Don't need a lot. In fact, that may be too much because I don't want it to be red-brown. I want it to be pink. And then I'm going to take this, I hope you can see that, take this raspberry and just rub that on there. You can see how potent that pad is, nice and juicy. And then I'm just going to spray some water on here. And the one thing that you need to remember is, and I forgot this the first time, add water to your ribbon. And what that does is it keeps it from absorbing too much of the strong pigment right off. So I just want to get that nice and wet. And then I want to kind of mush that around and get that in there. And I'm just going to pick it up, slide it around. This one, look, you know, you're not going to get any, you know, batches that are exactly the same. If you want it all the same, do it all at one time. This one is going to be paler than the last one I did, which is fine. I don't mind that, and that's probably because I added a little bit more water. I just need a hint of pink on these, and then I'm just going to kind of make a mess, squeeze that around, roll it up real tight, and that'll be, you can see it's a little lighter than this one, but that's okay. I'd rather have it lighter. I've already got enough of the dark. So I'm just going to use what's left here for this one. And there we go. If I need to add more, there's a little bit of red over there, I can do that. In fact, my whole mat is covered with pigment, so just pick that up. I usually do it on this, this glass because it mixes well. This is just a Dollar Tree, I think Dollar Tree cheese or glass cutting plate. I've seen a lot of people doing these and then doing like reverse pictures on the underside with initials and stuff. So yeah, see, this even gives me another dimension here. This one's pinkier, this one's very pale, and I will use more of this. So this is, you can see that's the same color, and then I have this one which has a little bit more of the vintage photo. You can still see the red in it, and the reason I use vintage photo is because it already has a little bit of red in it. But yeah, so I've got 3. This one's on the brown side, this one's on the pink side, the, you know, very mauve-y, and then this one is just a nice pale pink. So I'm going to let those all dry, and I might do a little bit of lace, but I got a lot, A-space-L-O-T, of pink lace in the mail the other day, and I definitely want to use some of that in this journal, so I'm going to go through that. So maybe I'll just stop at the ribbon here, but you can do anything with the ink and the Distress Oxide, and you know, use what you got, and have fun. So I think that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and let this envelope dry real well, and then I'm going to finish cutting out the papers and the embellishments, and we'll be back. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.